I made these 4 artworks with a simple frottage. Stay tuned to watch me doing this. Hello print fans! This is a print double feature. I am printing with this piece of wooden art made of historical letter wood blocks that used to be used for printing. I recently looked at it on my wall and couldn't believe that I didn't have this idea earlier in my YouTube career. But it's never too late. I want to make a graphite frottage here, showing the letters, and then transfer it to the gel plate, and then develop it further. I have this large gel plate, and I'm going to use part of it, printing the letters that you see here in the middle of this matte board Passepartout, which I'm going to use to keep the rims free of paint. Here you can see it better. To try this, I'm using a Deli paper sheet, as it probably gives off the graphite to the gel plate easier. This is just a leftover piece, but that's becoming what I'm using for the transfer. The torn edges make it more irregular. This is a broad graphite stick that I have. It is cheap and you can use any brand. You can also use a graphite pencil. That just takes much longer. I'm following the contours of the letters, looking from time to time where they sit. I'm smearing a bit with the graphite. This is intentional, or at least that is what I always say when I'm messing up. You can, of course, make it a lot more accurately and neatly if you like. It's easy to beat me there. I am moving the paper a bit further down, and in an area that has those large letters, I'm adding some small letters to make it more interesting. Yes, it's dirty work, but someone has to do it. I'm placing some white sheets underneath the gel plate to see the outcome better. The cracks you see here are in the plexi sheet that the plate is sitting on. I put it on there so that I can turn around the gel plate and register the print onto the paper. You'll see that later. I'm placing the frottage that is on the Deli paper face down on the jelly plate and place another white paper on top of it so that I can rub it better. As you can see, it picked up the frottage very nice, and I will still be able to use this one for a second transfer. I'm using those Chinese paints again by Mecolor that I bought on Temu. Sorry for the ad, but I just have to say I love it. I love them because of the metallic sheen they have. And I use the copper and the orange bronze tone. So I'm placing a frame package in A4 on it to get nice round edges, and then pressing down the paper through it. And it picks up nicely, but except for the one corner on the left above where I failed to press inside the frame better. But it's nice. It's even more interesting that the frame is not so perfect. I'm going to do a lot more to this one. I want to pick up the ghost print of this one, and I'm using an acrylic color which is a liquid color and very opaque. And I'm also using alcohol ink by Ranger in the color Espresso to get some more interest here. And I want to use the second frame that this frame made also in this one. I know that I'm not going to get a lot here because it's a ghost print, but we'll see. And as this pickup acrylic white is liquid, I don't have to hurry so much. I can take my time. I'm also putting a few drops of that espresso alcohol ink on. Just a few. I'm rubbing it in well and let it sit for a couple of minutes, which I cut out. You should always let the ghost print sit for a little so that it picks up everything that's possible. So this is very light, but it's still interesting, and I'm going to do some more interesting stuff to it. So as there is still a ghost on the plate left, I'm trying the golden iridescent gold, which I only have like a few drops left. And so I'm spreading that out and also using the alcohol ink again. And I don't know if you saw it, but I put just a few water drops into the gold paint so that I get the resist on the oily plate, or on the tacky plate, so to speak. And you can see the resist pretty well here. You can go over it again and again and it will turn up again until it's what you like. And then again the espresso alcohol drops. And just for some fun, I'm leaving 2 fingerprints up there. We'll meet them again later. Now I want to put just a few drops of water on more, but the pulverisateur I have, it's too even, so I just spray it in my hand and then shake the drops on. As I'm impatient today, I'm drying all this with a hairdryer. You should put it on cold so that you don't damage the gel plate. And now I'm picking up with a brand new color that I just bought. It's also an opaque white by the company Liquitex, and it's supposed to pick up really well. As this is really a very faint ghost print, I want to put some books on it and let it dry and sit for quite a while. And I picked up one book on top. That's a watercolor book, and I'd like to introduce this one. If you're into watercolors, you have to get a book by Anne Blockley. She is so great. All these textures that she creates are just so amazing. I usually only do work with a gel plate here, but I really want to ask you, do you want to have a watercolor special by me? See, this one is, I really adore this one. I don't know how she does that, but I could try. Please tell me in the comments if you would be interested in that. Oh, look at that. I can't believe the things she does with the paint. The forests she makes are especially interesting. Stones and trees, fantastic. Maybe it looks to me like maybe she even did something with a gel plate. I don't know, she doesn't mention it in the book. But I could try to combine those two, if you want me to. So that was a quick intermezzo, and now we're having the print. And as you can see, the letters don't show, almost not at all. But it's a very nice background, and I'm going to do something with it too. I still have a ghost print of a photo of PJ Harvey that I changed in Procreate a little bit, and I wanted to print a t-shirt as inspired by Mark Yates lately. He also had a PJ Harvey photo, so I'm just thank you, Mark, for that inspiration. The print on the t-shirt didn't work out well, so I didn't use that, and yeah, I'm trying to get the ghost print, and I'm putting on some matte medium by Liquitex, and it's I hope I'm gonna do the pickup print with it. So I'm spreading it out quite evenly and hoping that it'll work, and I'm trying to place it on the golden background, which is a bummer because already you can see at the nose there is a very dark spot. And of course I didn't plan that when I put on the espresso drops, but now I have to live with it and see what I can make out of it. And now here's the reveal And I'm like, well, this is the wrong way around. Okay, I turn it. But now you can see a spectacular thing that the paint made. I let it sit for at least half an hour or so, and obviously it dissolved the paint that was on the paper a little and picked up some or quite a bit of the gold. And I think this is quite spectacular. It's not a good print, so I have to add some printing of her face. But I think you can see the structures are amazing, and here you can see my fingerprints. I just love it. So I printed her face out one more time, and I'm just gonna add to it in some areas, especially to keep the fingerprints. I don't know why. I just want my fingerprints in this, and so I'm just adding parts of it. The back of this page I'm rubbing this with is the Brighton Bridge, the Brighton Pier, and that's gonna come later. And here you can see I left the rim of the torn out page because I thought it was a graphically interesting design. So the nose part, I don't know. Turning the package around and rubbing it from the paper side. And now the reveal. And yes, it's PJ Harvey with a clown's nose. I want to add a few things to this one, and so I'm taking the photo on my iPad to see where I have to go. And I'm just enhancing this newsprint structure that I'm created on Procreate. And yeah, I just want to do it very subtly so that it doesn't destroy the print feel. And but the nose is so terrible. But you can see how I deal with it a little later. The black pen is a textile marker pen. I use them a lot. You know that if you know my videos. And basically because it's not that opaque, and you can wipe it away if you made a mistake and if you're quick. And yeah, I just like the look of it. But I'm so sorry, PJ, for that alcoholic clown nose. So I'm trying to get rid of it by using just a little bit of the initial gold paint that I used. It's still too dark. And now I want to add some writing in some speech bubbles that I have a stencil for. With a set of letter set letters, old ones that I still have, and in combination with stencils for letters, I'm creating some writing, and it's the title of a song by PJ Harvey, which I love. It's called Is This Desire? And this seems to be Mark Yates special again. Thank you, Mark, for the letter set ideas too. Yeah, I think this looks quite cool. I'm adding some shadows to the speech bubbles, and then I'm adding shadows outside of the face print and outside the bubbles. Just adding some 3D look. And I'm signing this one, but afterwards I thought, no, I can't leave it like that. The nose is still too visible. So I painted the nose white and then went over it with the gold again. And now it's okay for me. So there is still leftover graphite on the Deli paper. And I'm turning the Gelli Plate around and place it on there. because I still have some leftover paint there that I want to use. So I'm registering it a bit and pressing down, and it still leaves an image on the gel plate. And there's something missing here that I obviously didn't shoot. I did something with the gold and water again. So that's how it changed the look of this one. And now I'm picking it up again with the Liquitex opaque white. And I'm going through the frame again. And letting it sit under some books again for like half an hour. And it's a gorgeous print. I like the combination of the gold resisted by the water, and also you can see the letters really well. This I'm gonna work out a bit, but not very much. I don't have an idea whether I put something else on it, like another laser transfer or so. I don't know. For now, I'm just defining the letters a little better. And while I'm doing this, I want to tell you the frottage, the graphite frottage that I made in the beginning, you can also do that with a coal pencil, or with pastel pens. The coal probably is a lot darker than the graphite. I wanted it more subtle, and so I'm happy with the graphite. But try other pencils too. And what's funny up there is that the letters up there look like they're out of focus somehow. And that happened because I wobbled around with the Gelli Plate, I think, a bit. Or maybe it happened during the frottage itself, I don't know. It can look nice, but in this case it doesn't. So I'm adding a rim here in the lower part and in the right part. And I'll leave it like that for now. Maybe I can print this on. That's an image from a 60s magazine, but I'll not do it this week. And now I want to develop this very orangey, metallic, shimmery print. It's not as crooked as it looks on this photo. That's just a camera lens. But I have that missing piece in the corner on the right-hand side, on the upper side, and I want to print something there, a gear wheel. I'm printing it with the Liquitex Moss Black that I like. I spread it out a little too thick. We'll see how that turns out. And I'm cleaning around the gear wheel with a baby wipe, and I'm not cleaning this enough, thinking that the stains I see are from the last print, but really when I print this, I really mess it up a little. That happens when you're too hectic. I'm trying to pick up some of the much too thick paint, but you know, that wonderful print, and I ruined it. But you know me, I'm not giving it up, and I'm gonna correct something. First, I'm coming in with the cotton swabs, and actually by taking out paint in the middle, it gets a little 3D look, so that's not bad. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, I'm smearing even more. This is an old ad that I copied from the times when cocaine was still available in pharmacy stores. And as you can see, it's a German manufacturer that earned money from legal drugs, a company from Darmstadt. This must be like, I don't know, turn of the century or the 20s. I don't know. I just find it funny, and so I wanted to have it in my orange painting. So using a laser copy transfer with a Liquitex black paint again. And I can place this right easily. And I think it goes well with the shapes of the letters. Too much paint again. But I can pick this up with a baby wipe quite well. This is ruined anyway, so I might as well just go on. And I want to add another laser copy transfer from a picture that a friend of mine took in Brighton. This is the Brighton Pier. Also an initial idea by Mark Yates. But when I was in Brighton, I took a photo of the Brighton Pier, but it didn't turn out so well. So my friend, the photographer Uwe, hello Uwe, he took this photo for me, and I used this one. I tore the edges a bit because I thought that might add to the vintagey feel again. Taking the excess color off with another copy paper. And now I see that it didn't print well. So as long as it's still registered on the left side, I can add some color and print again. And as you can already see, it printed quite nicely on the gel plate. I especially like the torn edge underneath the pier because it looks like a beach or something. And I'm just taking off some of the rims above the pier, and the rest I'm placing here. Note that I'm placing it on the left side, that it goes over the rim of the print. I did that on purpose. No, I really did. And going over the smeared parts here with a white pencil, that didn't work so well. Working out the word cocaine just a little bit, but not too much. And then I'm coming in with an acrylic pen, which really works the best to get rid of those smearing spots. It still looks awful, so that's not an original that I can sell. And I'm signing this in the lower area of the print, which I normally don't do. And note that I added a few marks here so that it looks more of a whole, almost too much. But that is finished and I like it. And now I want to print something on this very weak graphite print and still make use of the graphite letters. I just printed this thing in red, and I'm not going to show you that because it didn't turn out to be anything. But I wiped it off almost completely, and then I noticed that I want to keep the rest of that red and smeared like it is here. I'm curious how this will look. So I'm picking this up and also making paint for the transfer, for the photo transfer. I printed another photo of a friend of mine. You've seen him before if you know my videos. This is just a photo that's been copied over and over again. And I use it a lot because I like it that much. It's an old friend of mine. And registering this over the print. And I can already see that it's gonna turn out nicely. And yep, I like it. It's nice. These subtle letters in the background, they work just very well. And I have all these little metallic things that would used to sit on historical radios. And I don't know what these are, but I choose the Vorwerk which is actually still existing. It's a company that produces high quality carpets, but then they also produce electric devices, I think. So that's Vorwerk. And I don't know why I want this in there. I just thought of them, and yeah, I want to have them in my picture of Frank. And I'm cleaning this a lot more thoroughly than I did with the others. So I don't want to smear this time. I'm taking off quite a bit of color there. And intuitively, I really can't tell you how I decide this, but I'm printing this on top of the head. Oh, on top of the forehead. Yeah. Still a little bit too much color, taking it off with a baby wipe again. And now I took off too much. And here I'm smearing again, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I have to correct this a little bit so that's really readable. Below here, I'm making the rim a little stronger and also on the right side. And the last thing I'm doing for this one is I'm coming in with a watercolor, a metallic watercolor in a copper tone that goes with the other paint. And I want to add this to the Vorwerk brand writing, just to go with the outside paints. And can you see how that paint is shimmering? It's very shiny, really nice. So this is the end result. And I really, I think I like this one the best. But it's a portrait, and yeah, with this one was very good too. Well, I hope the length of this video didn't bore you to death, and I hope to have inspired you to try this, the frottage. You can, of course, do it with other stuff, and yeah, tell me how it works with you. So I'll see you next week or in 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Have a Merry Christmas. Until then, bye.